Malaysia has officially entered Phase 5 of the Movement Control Order, according to Putrajaya. This is more than a week ahead of when Phase 4 was due to end on May 12th. This phase, also known as the Conditional Movement Control Order, saw a number of Malaysians return to their places of work more than 6 weeks after the order was put in place on March 18th. This as businesses grapple with implementing standard operating procedures related to the new normal, such as constant temperature checks and ensuring social distancing. However, according to Senior Minister Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob, the Prevention and Control of Infectious Diseases Act 1988 still applies, and those found violating it would be dealt with accordingly. Today, the country recorded 55 new cases of COVID-19, bringing the tally to 6,353, according to the Ministry of Health. There were also no new deaths reported today, which means Malaysia's death toll remains at 105. Pemodelan Nasional says it expects to maintain competitive returns across its funds amid the current turbulent conditions. Net income fell 36.7% year-on-year to 10.7 billion, while gross income contracted 25.6% to 15.1 billion ringgit. It disbursed 13.2 billion in income distribution and bonuses, 12% lower than in 2018. However, it acknowledged that 2020 will be a more challenging year compared to the last. Group Chairman Tan Sri Dr. Zeti Atta Aziz says the fund's ability to perform will depend on several factors, namely the absence of another wave of the virus, the implementation of various policies, and how quickly consumer spending would pick up. She adds that there are actions to be taken to raise the potential of the companies it invests in. President and Group CEO Jalil Rashid says the fund is mindful of weaker earnings ahead, but he says PNB is aiming to enhance the potential of the companies under its portfolio, essentially making them leaner with better capital management. While dividend income will likely be affected, Jalil points out PNB has consistently delivered competitive dividends for all its 14 funds since its inception. Ageson has accepted a purchase order from Guangzhou Kashingda Industrial Co. for river sand and sea sand for a period of 15 years. The contract is worth a whopping 44.8 billion Chinese yuan. According to a boss filing, the company is expected to supply 50 million cubic meters of river sand per year and 100 million cubic meters of sea sand per year to GKI starting from the third quarter. Ageson said the contract is expected to strengthen its international export market and its trading business, while creating synergistic business opportunities with GKI. The contract is going to contribute positively to future earnings. Fraser and Neave Holdings saw a slight dip in both net profit and revenue for the second quarter as a result of the double whammy of the COVID-19 pandemic and the movement control order, which hurt sentiment. Net profit declined 2.2% to 102.2 million, while revenue eased 1.9% to just over a billion. FNN declared an interim dividend of 27 cents per share. For the first half, net profit rose 1.43% to 230.5 million, while top line grew 4% to 2.1 billion ringgit. Going forward, CEO Lim Yu-ho says the group has adjusted and sharpened its route to market and channel strategies as it navigates tighter cash flow and changes in consumer buying behaviour. Group Chairman Tengku Syed Badaruddin Jamalulail says FNN is foreseeing weak consumer demand for the rest of the financial year, particularly for beverage sales. However, the group is working to strengthen its operations so it can be ready when the situation eventually normalizes. CGS-CIMB has reverted to its earlier GDP contraction forecast of 4.3% to reflect the latest government directives and assumption of nationwide capacity utilization of 70% as the country opens back up. In a note, CGS-CIMB says that the surprise announcement of the reopening of most economic sectors under the Conditional Movement Control Order had led to the revision of its baseline scenario of a 6% contraction. The more conservative estimate was based on the MCO being extended until mid-May and a protracted normalization period thereafter. Aside from the ongoing rollout of the 260 billion ringgit stimulus, CGS-CIMB is also expecting Bank Negara to announce a 50 basis point cut to OPR this week, followed by 25 basis points in the second half of the year.